This is Inside Outlands. I'm your host, Nat Ryle, and joining me today is Nerull of the Bloodrock Clan. I think I still butchered your name. Go ahead and correct me.
Griebas, this is Nerull.
There we go. Nerull. I knew I butchered that. That's definitely more vicious sounding there.
No worries, my friend.
Hey, how's it going, man? Nice to finally sit down and have a chat with you, man.
No worries. It's going well. It's going well here with Bloodrock Clan.
Yeah. So, I mean, tell us what is being an orc? What is Bloodrock Clan, and why would I have you on a podcast?
Well, Bloodrock Clan was it's just an orc clan that we role play orcs. We run around role playing. We go inside of different obstacles like caves and things, and have a lot of fun just playing orcs and clomping humans.
So that would be my first question. So I don't know anything about you guys. So we're going to educate me and hopefully at the same time educate Outlands players. So there's only a human in the character creator. So I love that you guys have taken whatever tools you have available to you and done something this cool. Right. How did this start? Whose idea was it? Why? Because it's definitely not in the game. I mean, there's only humans in the creator. So
I love your question. That's a great question. Now, this is an MMORPG, and there's no other game to play an orc like Ultima Online because you can only choose human. Now, if you go on to other games like WoW and EverQuest and things, you can choose an orc, but that does not guarantee you that those orc players will be role-playing as orcs. Now, if you find an orc on Ultima Online, you know damn sure he's going to be role-playing an orc, and that's what I like about it so much. The history of the clan, the quick version, is we were founded in August of 1998 by an orc named Trugra, and there was a group of orcs sitting near a campfire, and they were all arguing, debating who is the boss, who's going to lead. And Truga grabbed a rock right next to him, and he smashed it on the orcs sitting next to him, and blood spurted everywhere. And all the orcs dropped their jaws and stared at him, and they asked him, "What's the clan name, boss?" And Trug pointed at that bloody stone, and he said, "Bloodrock Clan." And that's the quick version. If you want the actual long version, you can go onto our website and stuff.
Man, I want you on my D&D campaign next Sunday. So we're going to stay in contact. I'll have you be one of my players. That's awesome.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, what brought you to Outlands? You have this clan. You've gone from shard to shard, and I guess in OSI days. And what attracted you to Outlands? How come you brought Bloodrock here?
Yeah, the most alluring thing about this Outlands shard is, first of all, the map. The map is just amazing, of all the topography and the peninsulas and the different dungeons and the towns. You can really tell Owens took his time and heart. He poured it into the map. So first and foremost, it's the map. Second is the RP community. You got the Vikings, you got Sir, you've got you, and now I hear there's drows that are coming, and definitely looking forward to that.
I've heard the stirring of the drows. I haven't heard that you is coming here. That's actually a name I'm familiar with. They were on Railpoor. So if man, it's a big community all in one place.
Sure thing. Yeah, I think I ran into a few of them here and there already.
So what is it to be an orc then? What's your daily life like?
Ooh, well, great question. Playing an orc is like playing Ultima Online on hard mode. We don't ride mounts. We have severe restrictions. Magery is not allowed except if you're invited as a mage, which is 1 out of maybe 10 orcs. And we have heavy equipment restrictions. So it's definitely like playing Ultima Online on hard mode. And working together as a group is extremely important. And when you're calling out commands, you have to yell them out in Orcish. And we don't really use vent. So you can imagine how difficult it is.
Okay, so let's dive into this a little more. So what are the equipment restrictions? What are the skill restrictions? I guess first of all.
Well, the equipment restrictions are you can't use anything that resembles a human weapon like halbergs and katanas and things like that. And armor, we're not allowed plate mail and certain pieces of bone and, without using magery. And yeah, it's just really severe restrictions. You can't ride a mount as a peon entering the clan. You're not even allowed to look on a corpse or you get killed on spot.
That's awesome. Okay. Uh, so like you're talking about clubs, can you wear leather or is it just like piece of equipment like maybe a chest plate or
Yeah, just ring mail and leather is essentially, and bone, the orc helmets and orc masks is essentially what's allowed.
so I'm not a big player killer myself, but I've heard that at least on Outlands they're a lot more viable. So are you guys having a little more success on Outlands than maybe in the past just because of all the like the tracking and camping and forensic evaluation, all these big damage boosting stuff you can do now?
I would think we're landing on Outlands was a little bit of turbulence. We arrived here a little late in the game, and all the houses were already all the good spots were taken. And at the time, we only had one orc with us, and his name was Zugu, really helping us establish a solid foundation here on Outlands. And the rule set is, I would say it's okay for us orcs. But as time progresses and skills develop and members are joining, just filling the team, if you will, for warg tamers and things in the squads, it's getting better and better, and we're moving smoother and smoother for well rehearsed killings, if you will.
Yeah. Now I've been blessed to watch a couple of these because you've been sending this out to the interwebs here on Twitch, and I've gone back to a couple of the videos and watched some of these where you run through towns. Usually you're in the lead carrying a torch, and you have all these guys behind you. It's very cool to see. Also a little terrifying the way you guys do it. Have you? I want to see this in game though. Actually, because the video is cool. I would love to be there when it's going down.
Yeah, when I'm streaming, I've got the torch blazing with the light levels off. I keep the lights level like off so it's dark all the time. I really don't have a problem with running through a dungeon when it's completely dark. I think most people don't like to put themselves in that shoe because they don't think they can play in a dungeon when it's dark, when really at reality it's not that difficult. And the lighting in Ultima Online is one of the best aspects of the game. A lot of aesthetics are within the lighting, so that's something I want to enjoy, and I don't want to take away from my gaming experience. And yeah, it adds to the whole role playing sensation. You got your groups of orcs, you're hunting down people in dungeons, you're demanding tribute. It's all cool in the game, man. It's fun.
Yeah, I actually I love it, man. I take mine. I dial the slider to like 75, 60%. The other day I did Darkmire at 40% or so on the slider, and just I played like that for 3 hours straight. I wouldn't do it every time like you're doing, but I really wish the game had. I wish it was server enforced. When we went in a dungeon, that's just how it was, and they would change it from day to night. So like you would go through Prevalia at nighttime sometimes, and other times it would be day. Just could see all the beautiful lighting that UO puts in, and
I
the
agree.
time Owen spent on all of those features. And sometimes you drag that slider all the way to the right because it's easier to see things, but you're missing a lot of the atmosphere.
You're absolutely right. If we were all on the same page and light levels were completely erased, where everybody had to experience nighttime, and it would bring the alchemist market back. They would start making black potions and taxing people for buying the black potions. The in-lore spell would make more sense if we were all. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one.
So the other thing you mentioned, which is very, very interesting, you guys have your own language. So I've heard that every clan has a different language. Is that true?
Absolutely. Bloodrock Clan has a very unique language. Actually, our language was designed by a linguist in Germany back in 1998. One of the first orcs designed our entire language based off of black speech and who knows what. But it's a definitely unique fingerprint for specifically Bloodrock Clan.
Is it pretty hard to learn? Do you have to have a cheat sheet up if you were to be a new member? Or what if you mess up? What if you say something in human speech and not orc speech?
Well, there's common tongue orc, where you just kind of talk like a caveman and you just make things really simple as you're learning to speak orcish. But whenever I was like 14 years old, I printed out the whole entire orcish language and I had it by my computer and I was just using what I could. And you learn fairly quickly. There are some really easy words like yub is yes, nub is no, and then you can just use common tongue around that. So it's not really that hard to learn at all. I'd say maybe a day or two.
So you don't say full sentences or speeches in it, not really.
I mean, I can, but most people, they just say maybe a short sentence, then another short sentence. But I talk smack, man. I go off the rails and I just dig into those humans.
So you also mentioned a tribute. So let's say you've gone through a dungeon, you've got yourself a captive, and you demand tribute. What is that usually, and what happens if they don't pay up?
Well, when we demand tribute and say a human gives us like an insulting amount, like maybe 2 coins, we just kind of role play looking at the coins. Then we look at the human, look back at the coins, look back at the human, and we just gut them, just stab them right in the gut. But if they give us a good amount of coins, we leave them alone, let them be, depending on how many coins he gave us or gems, etc.
Yeah, so you extract it from his corpse.
Oh yeah. We dismember his corpse and extract all of him.
So you mentioned the other role playing groups here, the Sir and his knights, and Prevelia and their knights, I guess. Do you guys have a lot of interaction with them? Are they generally positive or?
That is my favorite role playing group to interact with, is Sir, because they're our perfect enemies. They're precisely what a human should be, is this honorable knight ready to be can opened and dismembered and severed head and throw it to the wargs, etc.
Yeah, I think Sir mentioned one time he caught you guys with a female captive, and then he had you take him instead of her, and then you guys hauled him off to your camp and did some torture or something like that.
Oh yeah, it's really funny. What we did is we actually started cooking her, and the Sir showed up looking for their member, and we had them sit down. We were telling them to relax because they were all freaking out. As where's our member? Rotten orcs. We're like, relax. While we're cooking their member in the cave, and we're offering them food. But they eventually figured out what we were doing. We were trying to make them cannibals because that's okay with us. Cannibalism's fine. And so that's how that went. It was so much fun.
Nice. So that's like one neat story we heard from Sir. Do you have anything else like recently in the past that's happened in Outlands that maybe sticks out in your mind?
Oh man, there's just so much we do every other night or every night. We just do so much. Just from sneaking around together, from adventuring in dungeons, from telling stories at the little cave fort we have. We're just always involved in such a high magnitude and caliber of role playing with PvPing, and as much fun as we can inject into our play style, because that's our main objective here. We want to have a lot of fun.
Yeah. So you mentioned your clan fort, and you also mentioned that you came a little bit late, so you had a hard time finding a spot. Where'd you guys end up settling? Where's the current home for Bloodrock?
Okay, so when we got here, we were looking all throughout the map somewhere to settle. And there's some awesome forts here. However, they're all occupied by orc NPCs that spawn rapidly. We tried luring them away, but they just they disappear and they spawn right back where we were trying to lure them from. So we just kept looking around, and there's also no kin masks here either. So we just kept looking and scouring and combing the map. And eventually we found Smuggler's Den, which was appropriate for Bloodrock Clan. There's a big old rock. There's a little campfire area where we can sit. It's very defendable. There's a little bridge, and we were very happy with that area. However, there were griefers living in there, living around there. All the spots were taken except a little teeny tiny spot for I think it's called an outpost. They don't make them anymore, I don't think. And we eventually paid off the griefers and took all their houses in that area. And I guess Owen saw what we were doing while we were all doing this, and he kind of hinted towards expanding it. I guess he felt sad for us living in this little piece of shit fucking cave area, and about making it more orcish, and so really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. He did hint on our podcast that he's changed, swapped his zone out and has built a brand new orc fort, kind of to your guys, the orc clan's specifications. And it's supposed to be pretty cool looking. I think I went to the one that was in game, which I guess is coming out. But either way, it's just pretty cool. I don't think you see this very often, but it sounds like you guys you do a lot for the server. You bring a lot of flavor to the server that you just don't get elsewhere, and it's a pretty unique experience to UO.
Absolutely.
So I think it's great. He's not giving a gameplay feature or anything. This is something that you guys will be able to use and do your events out of and things like that. So it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And from what I understand, it'll be a lawless area, which will help us out. And we are I think we're currently the oldest active guild on Ultima Online in general. We also have the record for the most wars ever on Ultima Online while being chaos. And so we're really familiar with the drums of war, if you will. So that's why I'm always pushing for invitations to war us, and that we won't AFK kill you. And if you are AFK killed, just report it to me and we'll get your things situated. But that's just our play style, really. Especially that being red here, you have to pay so many shinies, and most orcs are broke as hell.
Yeah, are you the clan that declared war against all the existing clans in the game?
Yes, every single one. That's just in our blood, is to war everyone. Since that's where we come from, that we just war everyone.
Yeah, it's a genius idea, especially because that gets you around the red restriction, so you can just have more targets and more people to interact with. I think my clan, Beard Brothers, we probably declined it because we don't do any PvP. That was probably a mistake. I think most of our members would have dug this kind of interaction, this kind of experience.
Right. And what we also do is for role-playing guilds, we offer an alliance invitation. That doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be kind to you, but it will mean that you will never have an item looted off you. We most likely will not eat your horse. And it's just a friendly war between all role-playing guilds and all those who are aligned with us, but not really aligned.
Oh, man, eat my horse. Yeah, what if I use an ostrich? Will you eat my ostrich or my goat?
Absolutely. Maybe. An ostrich has a higher probability of surviving, but there are some orcs that just eyeball that ostrich like a big old turkey.
Nice. So let's say we pique someone's interest that this is something they want to do. They want to seek out in Outlands. Maybe they haven't done it before. They've heard of you guys, and you guys are big presence here. They want to check it out. How do they get a hold of you? And what is that early experience like?
They can get a hold of me through Discord. Just direct message me. And as a new player, the whole experience is like, holy shit, this is something different in Ultima Online. You will probably, if you don't read the website thoroughly on the rules, which our number one rule is don't whine, you'll have a lot of fun. And you'll be a peon for a while. And once you prove yourself worthy, you'll then elevate to a grunt, and then you get to pick on the peons.
So they're peon, grunt. What's above a grunt? A grunt would be like your main warriors, I guess.
Yeah, grunts are the spine of the clan, the backbone, and then it goes up to ranks like captain and raider and mojaka, which is a mage. And mages have to worship a god. They have to worship Krimbluck, Belok, or Krulnuk, and they're either the god of blood, magic, or death. And it gets really detailed once you really put a microscope underneath it. But there's a lot of heart in this clan, and it's been going on for a very long time, and it's a very special clan that I'm proud to be a part of. We found some amazing orcs here, like Velgamog. We found an orc that recognized us from 20 years ago that randomly ran into us. His name was Pugrock. His name is Pugrock. We found a good mage here, which his name is Hack. We've been finding really good members here, and like Bag Talk and more. So the peons, new players, come on, let's make an enormous clan, because we're going to need you with this upcoming fort. We have to defend that against all these elite PvPers that are going to be face planting the ground, getting eaten by wargs.
Yeah, I mean, Outlands. It sounds like a good timing for you guys. It's reinvigorated UO a little bit here with its high player base, and it sounds like you guys are touching base with some past friends, past orcs, which is awesome to hear. I mean, that's great that this game is making a little resurgence here in our tiny MMO community. I mean, it's awesome to hear. What happens with past ranks? So let's say, someone was in Bloodrock in a past shard or OSI, or let's say you guys keep playing and you move on from Outland to something else. Do you maintain your rank, or do you guys start over from like the ground up with each new experience?
That's an excellent question. Personally, I like to maintain the ranks. So very short brief of time, that orc that is coming from a different shard that we played, and say he was a grunt, he then starts as a peon until his skills are developed, and then immediately advanced into a grunt because they've already proved their loyalty. Same thing for veterans. Veterans have a special rank called raider that is a permanent rank. All chieftains, because our chieftains are decided in a very interesting way within our politics. Anyone that's a grunt or higher can challenge the current chieftain to be boss. And what happens is orcs get behind at their candidate, and they charge one another, and the last standing candidate chieftain becomes the boss, the in-game leader. I'm the lead elder, so I'm the overall out game leader, the guy who is always in the shadows and steps in whenever needs to.
You're the old orc in the background, poking and prodding the new orcs.
Yeah.
Who's the current leader? Who's the current?
I've been a tyrant for a couple of years now, and I feel like a new Clergoth chieftain is coming soon. But we're going to wait until that fort is up, and we're going to wait until our numbers swell a little bit, and we're going to have a guy wearing a cape, barking orders in a fuming voice.
Oh, I love it! I love it. Do you plan these events at all to where the rest of the community could participate or fight you guys? Do you have anything that's coming in the future that we could attend, or just something that I know you do a lot of, like you play every day and you're experiencing the orc and you're playing like an orc, but is there something that we can attend to join this, I guess?
Oh yeah. So whenever that fort's up, it's going to be a major hub of PvP. So it'll be like Corpse Creek full time. And anytime you want to try and destroy us, you can come to the fort, and you're going to face a fight of a lot of defensive orcs just demanding tribute and aiming for your head. Other than that, we do raid towns. We will throw constant events. It's mostly random. Grunts throw events all the time, and I do as well. So you'll have plenty of opportunities to experience orcs around you. Now, the best way to be involved in our events is to war us, because that means you respect us enough to let us roleplay as orcs.
Yeah, that makes sense. So if your clan wars your clan, you're kind of accepting that you want to be a part of it, and you'll act accordingly, I guess.
Correct.
And it sounds like you guys won't just dry loot or.
This is how it works. If someone wars us, if a clan wars us, we treat them the way they treat us. So if they don't loot us, then we won't loot them. If they loot us lightly, then we'll loot them lightly, just disarming them. So we really judge guilds on a guild by guild basis on how they treat us.
Okay. What if they had a couple members that acted out of hand? Would you guys be able to parlay and sort the issues out, I guess?
We'll contact the guild master, and if the guild master responds with this very common answer, well, that's him, and he does what he wants. Well, then he just messed it up for your entire guild.
Yep, I hear you. Do you got any tips too? Not just tips. I'm talking. I'm running around on my bard tamer or something, and I run into you guys. Any tips for how I can, better interact with you to increase the fun? Even if I don't role play all that often, but I run into an orc out in the open in the wild, what should I do? And then also tips for that new player who wants to become an orc, or maybe dips his toes in it, trying it out. What he can do to kind of have a good experience.
First of all, give tribute. That way we won't just kill you. Second of all, go along with it. Like Sir said on his podcast, go along with it. If an orc ties you up and starts pulling you, follow him. It'll become something much funner than what you were planning on doing. That's my advice. Just go along with it, and the story will unfold.
Oh, yeah, just basically dive in and join for the fun, huh? Yeah, that makes sense. So what about the new orc? The new guy joining Bloodrock, or maybe another clan in Outlands?
The new orc is basically be a sponge and follow orders. If you advance quickly and you're learning quickly and you're following orders, then you'll become a grunt. And who knows, you might become the Clergoth someday with a cape, commanding the orcs and creating your own history. And that's another thing about our history. We've jotted down our history since the beginning. On our website, we have a history from 1998 all the way to 2019, going over every single Clergoth we've ever had, going through all the struggles we've ever encountered, all the different shards we've ever been on, and we're very special in that regard of just tracking our entire history till this day.
Yeah, that's an important part of what makes your clan who you are, and why you're so storied, and I think people respect you. I don't have the UO experience because I'm pretty new to the game to maybe understand that. But I've had games in the past where they have 10, 15 years of story written down and backlog of what makes them, and it's so much more rich that way. There's so much history there and things you can pull from, and just lots of good memories. So it's cool. You don't see this a lot, and in other kinds of games. I think it's kind of unique to our genre. And I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad you're doing your thing. I'm glad 20 years later you're still out there doing orcs.
Absolutely. This game is unlike any other game, and I fear like we'll never see another Ultima Online ever again. There can only be one. And yes, we are a very high caliber orc guild, and we do pride ourselves to being one.
Oh, I had another random question. The orc mask. So is that a must? You have to have one purchase to join your clan or to become a new member?
Actually, you can craft orc helmets, and if you don't have an orc mask, you can just keep grabbing a new helmet from, I think a blacksmith can make them, but eventually you're going to want a orc mask. We die a lot. Orcs have big balls. They go out there and they attack a group of mounted mages whenever there's only 2 orcs against 10.
Yeah, I wonder why they made that with Prevalia coins only. Actually, well, I don't know if that for sure. Is there a way to purchase it with coins, or is it only Prevalia coins?
I think it's only Prevalia coins you can get an orc mask. And that's
We should petition right here, right now. Owen, make that available for, like, I don't know, 10K regular coin. I don't know.
Yeah, a little easier to get them.
Yeah, that's cool. So I didn't realize you had an alternative to that, while someone maybe perhaps didn't quite have the either money saved up to buy Prevalia coin or Prevalia coin themselves. They can just use the helmet. That's cool.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple of community questions from people that have they knew I was interviewing you, and they had a couple questions for you guys. So the first one is from Evram Doreen. He says, "Why is Mazoka so awesome?" I don't know who that is, but you can tell us.
I think that's a mage, and Mazoka, if I recall correctly, is in China, and he wrote a profile. Because as an orc, you have to write a profile of, you don't have to, but you can, a profile in your profile on your paper doll of a brief biography. And his letters are all in Chinese. And all you read is like Nerull, and then it goes on to Chinese words, and that's it. I've got no idea what it says. So I guess that makes him really awesome.
I guess you could Google translate it and then translate it back to orc. That's cool. And the next question from Evram Doreen too is, why is there several orc clans? Why are you guys not merged as one horde?
Okay, well, there are a lot of orc clans, and I believe we are we're about just as old as Shadow Clan, a couple months younger, and there's a lot of history there. I believe orc clans branched off from orc clans in general. I think that Blood Clan's founder was a part of Bloodrock Clan, and I trained him. And he may have moved to a different shard and started Blood Clan. And there's just different history in each clan and different approaches. Some clans they ride Ostards, and they're more leaning towards PvP than RP. There's just little flavors. I wouldn't be opposed as kind of merging into Bloodrock Clan's umbrella, but orcs are orcs, and that's about it.
Yeah, so from how you're describing it, sounds kind of like over time you've formed your collection of friends, and they just haven't always merged into one group of people that play the game together.
Yeah, but if in the past on Angel Island there were maybe a few clans there, and what our rules were: if we were killing each other and humans show up, we stop what we're doing, go kill the humans, and then get back to killing each other.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. Deal with your enemy first, and then deal with your inner struggle.
Right.
And then another question from Evan Dorian. He says, any future plans or visions for the respective clans? Anything special that you would like to see from UA Outlands crew for future promotion of orc activity?
Oh, I'm going to say bolas. I would just love watching a group of these bigger guilds charge us, and then we all have that swinging bola emotion over our heads, and them turning around and running and just eating their horses. But that's okay that bolas aren't here. That's fine. Our orc fort will most likely be mountless. But bolas would be interesting in certain areas. That's one feature I would like to see. But it doesn't have to happen.
Yeah, I know it's probably a balanced thing PvP wise, because you've got paralysis from magery. So if you put it into an item, then you're giving the dex or a magery ability, I guess. I don't know, but maybe there's some way they could work it with an RP flavor to it that wouldn't tie to PvP.
Another thing is the Wall of Stone spell. The Wall of Stone spell has a 45-second cooldown right now, and that makes sense in towns and in dungeons because of griefers just blocking an entrance in the dungeon or one of those tunnels during an event or during the factions fights, someone casting Wall of Stone that's not even involved in factions. Now, out in the open lands outside of towns and dungeons, I think Wall of Stone doesn't need that cooldown timer. And I say that because we don't have bolas. And my second weapon would be casting Wall of Stone on players and then crimping them, which means surrounding them and killing them. So I get one Wall of Stone, then I have to wait for a while.
Yeah, so maybe increase it when you're outside of the dungeons or key areas of the game,
For
or
sure.
increasing the range in some lawless areas. Perhaps I'm not really sure. Better minds than me with PvP and would have to put that in there. But yeah, that seems like it would work. Do you have anything else you want to say, man? Anything we missed, or anything you want to say to the Outlands community as a whole?
Uh, just really appreciate all the role players that came to Outlands, and I appreciate the players that have role played with us and given us tribute. And more tribute is welcome. And for all of you griefers out there, whenever we have that fort, bring it on, you bastards.
Bring the fight. You'll take it, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, you guys bring a unique flavor to the game for sure. I think it would be a much lesser game, a lesser experience without you out there doing your thing. So I really appreciate you coming on here to tell us what you're about, and hopefully we've inspired a couple people to reach out, take the plunge, grab that torch, walk through town with their orc mask on, causing terror.
absolutely. Thanks for having us on. We really appreciate it. Again, our website's bloodrockclan.com. And there's a joining link. You click on that, message me on Discord, and let's get your fucking work going.
Yeah, toss out your Twitch channel too. Let's talk about that so they can get over there and watch videos or reach out to you there.
I think my Twitch is the little Twitch thing, and then Nerull_orc.
Awesome. Yeah. I'll put a link for both the Bloodrock Clan's website and your Twitch up there. So if you want to go see more what you guys are all about, they can seek it out.
Excellent.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it again. Anyone wants to hop on our Discord, we'll have a link to that as well. Join there, talk to us, interact with our guest and future co-host. We'd love to hear from you guys. See you guys next week. Thanks for listening to Inside Outlands.
Googie.
Yeah, what is it you said when you came on?
Griebus.
Oh, okay. Griebus.